Okay, it is Monday, February 27th.
Into you so far the words go, so much clearer than you hear. Into you goes everything I know. No one else knows how I feel.
And it is a fairly comfortable but pretty breezy 46 degrees at the moment. It was very blue skied about an hour ago when I got in here, but
Blah, 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 blah.
of course, because we're expecting rain tonight, so that's the usual MO. Speaking of which, just to start this week with what I thought was the funniest fucking thing I saw all week, and it ties in. As we all know, all of these globalist crazy people are for this solar radiation management, geoengineering, chemtrails, all this shit. And George Soros.
Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire for a safe and secure society.
Yes, the 1,000-year-old George Soros came out talking about climate change recently. And you need to see, have you seen this guy lately? You need to see him.
The melting of the Greenland ice sheet affects acid would increase the level of the oceans by 7 meters.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me. The Crypt Keeper is more alive than that fucking guy.
Tales from the Crypt.
Oh my God. It is such a joke. Everything is such a joke that they spew out of their mouths.
Yeah, they did.
Ay, ay, ay. And as we said last week, the events are tragic, but the shit that comes out of these people's mouths is unbelievable.
Come on, man.
Continuing with the global stage, you got Klaus Schwab spewing his Master of the World speech again at the Global Summit recently.
Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, esteemed participants, Minister Mohamed Kagawi, Chairman of the World Government Summit. I wrote in 2015 the book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution. And I mentioned 23 or 24 technologies which will change the world, like crypto and so on and so on. The book was considered science fiction. All those technologies have become reality, and they are new technologies. And we are just now where we move into the exponential phase. And I agree. Artificial intelligence, but not only artificial intelligence, but also the metaverse, near space technologies, and I could go on and on. Synthetic biology. Our life in 10 years from now will be completely different, very much affected, and who masters those technologies in some way, will be the master of the world.
Oh my God. From the, between all of the shit going on here in this country, they haven't let up on the global level. They still want control of the entire fucking world.
Motherfucker.
And every thought in your fucking head. You know, speaking of which, this, as we talked about last week, Ohio situation in East Palestine, is just shrouded with coincidences and strange happenings. And yet when you mention these things, people don't want to hear it, you know? People don't want to understand, first of all, how predictive programming works. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, they have made a Netflix movie based on the exact situation that occurred in East Palestine, filmed it in East Palestine, and used the residents of East Palestine as extras in the movie not long ago before this occurrence. Not to mention the introduction of digital IDs being handed out to the residents of East Palestine a few weeks before the event.
Coincidence? I think not.
I mean, and of course there's the plane crash that occurred in Arkansas, which had all these scientific environmentalists, whatever the fuck they were, that were doing the work and research on the toxicity levels at the metal factory explosion. Their plane went down in Arkansas. You know, just again, you know, all of these coincidences and all of these happenstances just occur. And if you try to tie them all together, you're a lunatic conspiracy theorist. You know, and of course, they have the clowns out there doing their rounds right now, saying their stupid shit. And to me, it's entertaining, and I'll laugh at that shit all day long. But believe me, I'm well aware that that's all it is. Political division, nonsense, and an attempt to get people to place the blame for everything going on the incompetence and buffoonery of those that are in office, and to want a hero to come in who, of course, is going to save them, which is all being set up for this next election. So, again, on the more comical side of things, here's one for you.
We're honored to have presidents, all the presidents here tonight. And I want to thank them. And by the way, you know, I'm not, I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
What the hell did you just say?
I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
Well, what's up, man?
Yeah. Check this.
It's all about division.
You're goddamn right.
And polarizing people and keeping that division going, whether it's politics or race or this gender nonsense or religion or whatever it is that they are using to divide. And they're using all of them heavily, especially on the media lately. And through all of the efforts to keep people divided, and it works on many levels, the more in our face this gets, the more tragic this gets, the more people, hopefully, as we've said, will start to lift their heads and start to ask questions. So, anyway, what else is going on?
Being that you and I realize clearly, and it's just so in our face that it's astonishing, okay? Central banks raising rates, isn't doing the damn thing, it's not meant to work, inflation continues to rise around the world, food inflation out of control, and you haven't seen anything yet, anything at all. Inflation is going much, much higher because, again, the one thing, the single thing that central banks could actually do, pay attention if you're new here, the one thing central banks could actually do to stop inflation in its tracks today and reverse inflation is not getting a nanosecond of airplay, even on Bloomberg or anywhere else. Again, central banks have the power to contract the money supply. This issue of surging inflation that we have here, okay, is a money supply issue. What have central banks been doing since the last meltdown here? They've been pumping the world with debt, currency. They've been buying all the debt. You know how this works. They're issuing debt through one door and then buying it back through another door. It's a revolving door. And this revolving door mechanism here is making central banks, has now propelled central banks to now the single most powerful collective organization on the planet. Nothing comes close. The more debt a central bank issues, is called on to issue, or is allowed to issue, well, the stronger they become. You all know this if you've been following my work here.
Things that they are trying to do to destroy the infrastructure and depopulate as much as they can while they bring in this great reset as the economy is starting to fall to pieces. And it is. People don't realize what's going on in the markets. They don't understand the inflationary status that our currency is in. And they don't know history. They don't understand the monetary system on even a most basic level. And it's going to hit most people like a ton of bricks. And until that occurs, which could be any time, or it could be 2 years from now, it'll be when they want to, and they're ready to. They will have also had all of these years of pumping fear into people, from the virus to the war to the derailments and then controlled chemical explosion of horrific phosgene into the atmosphere, which is what you get when vinyl chloride is burned. You get what is called phosgene, which is a chemical weapon that was used in World War I by the fucking Germans.
Since Instagram deleted my last reel for some reason, I don't know why, we'll try this again. Story time. If you don't know, from my other previous reel, I was a medic in the Navy. They sent me to an NBC Casualty Care Provider course in Aberdeen, Maryland, where they spent a bunch of time teaching me how to treat chemical casualties in a nuclear, biological, and chemical attack environment. And one of the first things they taught us about was phosgene. Phosgene, if you don't know, is a byproduct of burning vinyl chloride. So that train derailment in Ohio that released all the vinyl chloride around it, and then they decided to light it on fire, yeah, congratulations. All they ended up doing was creating a shit ton of phosgene. Germans used this stuff in World War I to kill everything. It's invisible, it smells like fresh cut grass when it gets to a certain point in the air.
But, you know, these things were just controlled burns. They didn't know it was going to turn into phosgene. Yeah, I got a bridge to sell you over here by some swampland, if you fucking believe that. And it's these kinds of things that, again, keep people in fear from incident to incident. But when you step back and you look at the entirety of what they're doing, and you allow yourself to realize what they're doing, and then you get over the fear of having to speak out against that and start to develop the courage not to comply with your own enslavement and realize that this is very important to head off now before the implementation of this quote-unquote great reset, and to get people and to get into as many people's heads as possible so that when their moment arrives to either comply or not comply with their own enslavement in their own life, hopefully they will have developed the courage out of seeing so much horseshit occur over these years and realizing how targeted and fucking stupid it all is, to not comply with their own enslavement. Because this is a numbers game. And if not, and the reality is, if that does not occur, and most people do comply with their own enslavement, we then are going to have to figure a way to live outside of the entire system they're trying to bring in, the track and trace system, the surveilled money, the digital IDs, the social credit system, the whole smart city, 15-minute city prison. We're going to have to figure a way to live around that. And if you realize that now, and realize that all the shit that's coming, that has come already and is coming, is going to get worse, you won't be surprised by the horrific nature of what you're going to see come out of governments across the world. Because you'll already know what they're fucking doing. And it won't paralyze you into states of fear. Which is why I like to use, again, the humor. Not everyone likes it. I don't fucking care.
I don't give up.
It's the way I like to do it. Because attempting to undermine the nonsense, not on a dialectic level, but as a whole, to me is a useful tool in getting people to begin to develop the courage inside themselves to realize what's happening. And hopefully then, in their own spiritual work, self-work, internal work, and mirror work, will develop the courage fully to start then speaking out against it, to start preparing for the worst case scenario, hoping for the best case scenario, and doing things in the world themselves to help bring about the best case scenario, which even the best case scenario now is going to be a bumpy ride because of all the things they have done already to destroy the infrastructure, to destroy the food chain, to destroy the monetary system in order to bring in their new one. So, anyway, I think we'll about leave it there again for the week, as I often do. I've been rambling on for long enough, and hope all is well, and we'll see you on the next one. Get learning, get speaking.